Shabbat Shalom. This weekend we study together Parshat Noach, the portion of Noach, and we are reminded as kids that we would draw the ark with all the animals, and I remember Noach is a happy story from Genesis. Growing up and reading into the commentators, I find that they less like Noach. And why do they less like Noach? Well, I presume it's from the beginning of the parasha. From verse 9 in chapter 6, it says, Noach was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time. Now, what is among the people of his time? It's a relative term. That means that, yes, Noach was blameless, but only according to the time, only according to the people of his time. And the people of his time were wicked people that God had to wash away and basically destroy all the creation. So Noach was blameless only compared to those people. But the rabbis throughout the years say that if Noach would be born, for example, at the time of Moses or the time of Abraham, he would be an average person. Nothing special, not a big tzaddik, nothing special. Why do the rabbis less like Noach? Why do the commentators less appreciate Noach? Well, I presume it's because he kept quiet. He heard of the plan to destroy all creation. God wanted to wash away the creation. And what did Noach say? Noach said nothing. Soon we'll get to the Sodom and Gomorrah, that God tells Abraham that he wants to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And the first thing that Abraham does is he's starting a discussion with God. He goes to God and starts negotiation as if he's in the market. Well, what if there are 50 people, 50 righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah? Will you preserve the city? God says yes. And he goes down to 45. And it goes all the way down to 10. If there are 10 righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah, God will not destroy the city. The same goes for Moses. After in Exodus chapter 32, after the golden calf, God wants to destroy the people of Israel. And Moses says, wait a second. You have to forgive the people of Israel. And if you don't forgive the people of Israel, please wipe out my name from the book of life. You have to forgive the people of Israel. So Moses and Abraham stand up and actually talk to God and convince him not to destroy the people, to have mercy. And Noach on the other hand, says nothing. We are now entering the period of the winter. And we can see it as if Noach is building an ark for himself and for his family. It's like putting a coat on when it's cold. That's how the rabbis see it, as if Noach put a coat. Now, what is the right thing to do? The right thing to do is not to put a coat, but to turn the heater on to heat your surroundings, that your goodness will shine on others and make a change. Make the place warmer. Be a blessing to those around you. And that's what Moses was, and that's what Abraham was. Noach put a coat on himself. That's how the rabbis and the commentators throughout the years see this. Now Noach is not a teacher. He's not a prophet. He's not a man of many words. He's not an intercessor. He doesn't talk to God. All those things, Noach is not. The question is, what is Noach? Well, Noach is very good with his hands. Okay? When you had to preserve the creation and all the creatures in it, God brought Noach to build the ark, to collect all the creatures, to collect all the creation, all the plants, all the food, all the knowledge that takes to take care of all these creatures in the boat. And Noach took care of it successfully. And we don't give him the credit. Noach was a man of deeds, not a man of words. In Romans chapter 12, Paul gives us a long list of gifts. We have a lot of gifts. Some have prophecy, some have teaching, others have service. Serving is one of the gifts, and we have to do that cheerfully. That's what Paul says. We have to be cheerful. And we can't judge one another according to their gifts, but each one of us has to use the gift for the better good, for your surroundings. Doesn't matter what you are, for your community, in your church, in your congregation, in your family. You have to use those gifts that God gave you in your surroundings, and you have to do so cheerfully. Now, I want to go back to Noah. Did Noah succeed in the assignment that God gave him? I think Noah succeeded in the assignment that God gave him. If we read through Genesis, we see a lot of emphasis on the ground, on the land, on the soil, on the plants, and taking care of that creation. I want to remind you that when God created Adam and Eve, He put them in the Garden of Eden to be gardeners, to take care of the creation. Not to talk, not to pray, but to take care of the creation. And that's what God chose Noah to do, is to take care of the creation. And Noah was not a man of words. The Bible tells us that Noah was a man of the soil, the man of the Adamah, of the land, taking care of the land. And the first thing that Noah does after he goes out of the ark is to build and to sacrifice thanksgiving to God and to work the land, to sow the land, and to grow a vineyard, to plant. After the first sin, in the Garden of Eden, God curses the land, curses Adam, says that it'll be hard to work the land. With tears you will reap and sow the land. It'll be cursed for you. It'll be hard to work the land. That's what God curses Adam. And then comes Noah and actually preserves the land, works the land, plants and grows the land. And we don't give him the credit for doing so. I want to remind you Yocheved. Yocheved basically took a small basket, a shoebox, to put Moses in to float on the Nile. And we made a whole story. We tell this story year after year after year again during the time of Passover. We give her a lot of credit for doing so. What did she do? She took a basket, put Moses in it. And Miriam, all she had to do is follow that basket. Follow that shoebox with Moses inside of it. And we give them all the credit. But when it comes down to Noah, Noah built a huge ship and preserved all the creation. And we don't give him the credit. Why? Because he wasn't a teacher. Because he wasn't the man of words. We cannot judge between the gifts that God gave us. To conclude, I want to put the emphasis in using the gifts that you have. God gave all of us gifts, and we have to use them to make our surrounding better, to make our family better, to make our congregation better. You have to find where you can serve your congregation, where you can serve your family. Whatever gift you have, use it, and use it cheerfully. Shabbat Shalom.